module for I/O interfacing. This module describes a range of devices used in embedded systems and the way they are accessed by an embedded processor and embedded software. The first topic is I/O devices. As you know, digital systems interact with the real world via transducers. Transducer converts a physical quantity into an electrical signal. Electrical signal can be analog or digital or vice versa. An input transducer or sensor senses some physical property and generates an electrical signal that corresponds to the property. An ADC may be required for an input transducer. An output transducer uses an electrical signal to cause a physical effect. A digital to analog converter or DAC may be required for this process. Electromechanical transducers are a category of devices called as actuators. Human interface devices in digital systems include buttons, switches, knobs, keypads, mouse, indicators, displays, and speakers. Next, let us see input devices. Input devices include switches, keypads, knobs, position encoders, and analog sensors. Keypads and keyboards. Keypad is an array of push buttons. A common technique is to arrange the key switches into a matrix as shown in the figure to scan matrix for closed contacts. When all of the key switches are open, all column lines C1 through C3 are pulled high by registers. When a key switch is closed, one column line is connected to one row line R1 through R4. The matrix is scanned by driving one row line low at a time, leaving the rest of the row lines pulled high and seeing if any of the column lines become low. For example, if the key 8 is pressed, C2 is pulled low when R3 is driven low. If more than one key in a given row is pressed at the same time, all of the corresponding column lines will be pulled low when the row line is driven low. Hence, information about which keys are pressed is determined. A register is used into which the processor can write values to be driven on the row lines and another register for the processor to read the values of the column lines. This is shown in the figure. As each key of the keypad is a push button, it suffers a problem called as contact bounce. Hence, debouncing circuits are required. The embedded software running on the processor needs to scan the matrix repeatedly. When it detects a key closure, it must check that the same key is still closed sometime, say 10 milliseconds. Keypads are suitable for small digital systems. The logical extension of keypad's idea is illustrated by a keyboard for a general purpose computer. It has between 80 to 100 key switches arranged in a scanned matrix. Most keyboards include separate embedded processors whose entire workload consists of detecting key presses and dealing with the rollover and communicating the information to the computer to which it is connected. Next topic is knobs and position encoders. Rotating knobs have been used in the user interfaces of electronic equipment. Example, volume control knob, brightness control on light dimmer, etc. Knob usually controls a variable resistor or potentiometer in analog electronic circuits. Knobs were replaced by switches in many applications in digital systems. Example, volume rockers of a cell phone, etc. Incremental encoder, a simple form of input device also known as a digital knob, uses a incremental encoder to determine direction and speed of rotation. It is a good choice provided absolute positioning is not required. An incremental encoder can be used for a rotational position input or rotational speed input. An input incremental encoder operates by generating two square wave signals that are 90 degree out of phase as shown in the figure. The signals can be generated either using electromechanical contacts or using an optical encoder disc with LEDs and photosensitive transistors as shown in the figure. As the shaft rotates clockwise, the A output signal leads B output signal by 90 degree. For clockwise rotation, A lags B by 90 degree. The frequency of changes between low and high on each signal indicates the speed of rotation of the shaft. A simple approach to using a knob attached to a incremental encoder involves detecting rising edges on one of the signals. Suppose the knob is at a given position when the system starts operation. For example, assume a knob used as volume controller. When there is a rising edge on the signal A, examine the state of B signal. If B is low, the knob has been turned counterclockwise. Decrement the stored value representing the knob's position. If B is high, the knob has been turned clockwise. Increment the stored value representing the knob's position. It is a change in knob's position that determines the volume and not the absolute position of the knob. Analog inputs. Physical effect produces an analog voltage or current in some sensors. For example, microphones, which are used in digital systems such as telephones, voice recorders, and cameras, etc. A microphone has a diaphragm that is displaced by sound pressure waves. Next one is accelerometers, used in automobile airbag controllers, etc. Measures acceleration and deceleration. Next one is fluid flow sensors, used in industrial machines, coffee machines, etc. There are numerous forms of sensor that rely on different effects to sense flow. Next one is gas detection sensors, used in safety equipment. There are numerous different forms that use different effects. As an example, photoionizing detector uses ultraviolet light to ionize a sample of atmosphere. Next topic is analog to digital converters. The basic element of an analog to digital converter or ADC is a comparator, which simply senses whether an input voltage is above or below a reference voltage and outputs a 1 or 0 accordingly. First, let us study flash ADC. The flash ADC structure is as shown in the figure. Flash ADC is the simplest form of ADC. A converter with n output bits consists of a bank of 2 power n minus 1 comparators that compare the input voltage with the reference voltages derived from a voltage divider. For a given input voltage, Vn equals K into Vf, where Vf is the full scale voltage and K is a fraction between 0.0 and 1.0. A proportion K of the comparators have their reference voltage above Vin and so output is 1, and the remaining comparators have their reference voltage lower than Vin and so output is 0. The comparator outputs drive the encoder circuit that generates the fixed point binary code for K. The advantage of flash ADC is fast conversion. Flash ADC is suitable for converting high bandwidth signals such as those from high definition video cameras, radio receivers, radars, etc. Disadvantage of flash ADC is need large number of comparators. Resolution of an ADC is the number of output bits. Next kind of ADC is successive approximation ADC. A successive approximation ADC can be used for signals that change more slowly or low bandwidth signals. It uses a digital to analog converter internally to make successively closer approximations to the input signal over several clock periods. The diagram is as shown in the figure, the arrangement. So let us have an illustration. Consider a converter that produces an 8-bit output. When the start input is activated, the successive approximation register is initialized to the binary value 0 followed by 7 ones. This value is provided to the DAC, which produces the first approximation just less than half of the full scale voltage. The comparator compares this approximation with the input voltage. If the input voltage is higher, the comparator output is 1, indicating that a better approximation would be above the DAC output. If the input voltage is lower, the comparator output is 0, indicating that a better approximation would be below the DAC output. The comparator output is stored as the most significant bit in the SAR, that is successive approximation register, and remaining bits are shifted down by one place. This gives the next approximation, which is D7, which is MSB, followed by 0, then 6 ones, which is either 1/4 or 3/4 of the full scale voltage, depending on D7. During the next clock period, this approximation is converted by the DAC and compared with the input voltage to yield the next most significant bit of the result and a refined approximation, which is D7, D6 followed by 0, then followed by 5 ones. The process repeats over successive clock cycles, refining the approximation by 1 bit each cycle. All bits of the result are determined. The SAR activates the done output signal, indicating that the complete result can be read. The advantage of successive approximation based ADC is there are fewer analog components, that is one comparator and a DAC. Disadvantages are the conversion rate is slow, digital circuit required for SAR. SAR requires extra digital circuit. Next topic is output devices. Output devices include indicator lights, 7-segment LED and LCD displays, electromechanical actuators, valves, motors, and analog output devices. LED indicators. The simplest form of LED indicator is a single LED, that is light emitting diode. It is low in cost, highly reliable and easy to drive from a digital circuit as shown in the figure. When the output of the driver is a low voltage, current flows through the LED, causing it to turn on. The resistor limits the current so as not to overload the output driver or the LED. The resistance value is chosen to determine the current and the brightness of the LED. When the output of the driver is a high voltage, the voltage drop across the LED is less than its threshold voltage, so no current flows. Hence, the LED is turned off. Alternatively, the LED and resistor could be connected to ground, allowing a high output voltage to turn on the LED and a low output voltage to turn it off. It is more common to connect LED as shown in the figure for TTL output circuits. Next one is displays, that is 7-segment LED displays. The connections for LEDs in each digit with common anodes is shown in the figure. In addition to the 7 LEDs for the segments, there is an LED for a decimal point. The output connections for 4 digits is shown in the figure. Each of the outputs, that is capital A0 through capital A3, when pulled low, turns on the transistor that enables a digit. To display 4 digits, we pull each of A0 through A3 low in turn. When A0 bar is low, enabling the least significant digit, we drive the segment lines from small a bar through small g bar and dp bar, low or high as required for the segment pattern for the digit. When capital A1 bar is low, we drive the segment lines for the next digit and so on. After driving the most significant digit, we cycle back to the least significant digit. If we cycle through the digits fast enough, our eye's persistence of vision smooths out any flickering due to each digit only being active 25% of the time. The advantage of this scanned scheme is that we only need one signal for each digit plus one for each segment of a digit. That is total 12 signals. Next is liquid crystal displays, LCDs. Advantages of LCDs: low power, readable in bright ambient light conditions, custom segment shapes. Disadvantages: require backlight for dark conditions, not as robust as LEDs. LCD panels are a rectangular array of pixels. They can be used for alphanumeric or graphical display. They can be controlled by small microcontroller. Next topic is electromechanical actuators and valves. Actuators cause a mechanical effect. One of the simplest forms of actuator is a solenoid. With no current flowing through the coil, the spring holds the steel armature out from the coil. When current flows, the coil acts as an electromagnet and draws the armature in against the spring. In a digital system, the current in a small solenoid can be controlled with a transistor driven by a digital output signal as shown in the figure. The diode is required to absorb the voltage spikes that arise when the current through the inductive load is turned off. The direct mechanical effect of activating a solenoid is a small linear movement of the armature. Linear movement can be translated into variety of other effects by attaching rods and levers to the armature. Solenoid valves. The armature of a solenoid can be attached to a valve mechanism, allowing the solenoid to open and close the valve, thus regulating the flow of a fluid or gas. Solenoid relays. In these devices, the armature is attached to a set of electrical contacts. This helps to open or close an external circuit under digital control. Motors. Motors can be angular position or speed. The rotational position or motion can be converted to linear position or motion using gears, screws, and similar mechanical components. Stepper motors rotate in discrete steps. The motor consists of a permanent magnet rotor mounted on the shaft. Surrounding the rotor is a stator with a number of coils that can be energized to form electromagnetic poles. The figure shows that as coils are energized in sequence, the rotor is attracted to successive angular positions, stepping around through one rotation. The magnetic attraction holds the rotor in position provided there is not too much opposing torque from the load connected to the motor shaft. The order and rate in which the coils are energized determines the direction and speed of rotation. Servo motors. These are meant for continuous rotation. The motor itself can be simple DC motor in which the applied voltage determines the motor speed, and the polarity of the applied voltage determines the direction of rotation. The servo motor function of the motor involves the use of feedback to control the position or speed of the motor. Servo motors requires a position sensor or tachometer. Servo controller is a digital circuit or an embedded processor which compensates for non-ideal mechanical effects. That is, controls the position or speed by generating a drive voltage after comparing the desired position or speed with actual values from position sensor or tachometer. Next topic is digital to analog converters. A digital to analog converter or DAC takes a binary encoded number and generates a voltage proportional to the number. The voltage can control analog output devices such as servo motors, loudspeakers, etc. One of the categories of DAC is R-string DAC. This is one of the simplest form of DAC. R-string DAC contains a voltage divider formed with the precision resistors. The binary encoded digital input is used to drive a multiplexer formed from analog switches, selecting the voltage corresponding to the encoded number. The selected voltage is buffered using a unity gain analog amplifier to drive the final output voltage. This requires 2 power n precision resistors. This is impractical for DACs with more than 8 to 10 input bits. This is one of the limitation. Next one is R2R ladder DAC. R2R ladder DAC sums binary weighted currents. This requires 2 n matched resistors. Each of the switches connected to the input bits connects the 2R resistance to the reference voltage Vf if the input is 1 or to ground if input is 0. The superposition of sourced currents means that the total current is proportional to the binary coded input. The op-amp voltage is thus proportional to the binary coded input in order to maintain the virtual ground at the op-amp input.